do okay. This is, what page was it? 14.
Oh, sorry, I was muted.
Oh yeah. Okay. So now I made this up. So this is not one that he would give you, but this is just to kind of like make sure that you would understand how it would work. So compare the gated SR latch with NAND gates to the gated SR latch with NOR gates. Trace a few values to verify that it works as expected. Okay. So let's just make some values up, and let's say that Q is originally, let's do the AND gate first. Let's say Q is originally 1, which means Q bar is 0. And let's have, so Q old is 1 and Q bar old is 0. And that would mean that I have that 1 is the input here, and 0 is the input right here. And let's not worry about the clock. Let's not worry about the gated. We could deal with that. Just if the clock is 0, there's no change. So clock being 0 is not interesting. Let's have R being 1 and S being 0. So if R is 1 and S is 0 and the clock is 1, so the clock is 1, and so if the clock is 1, 1 and 1 is 1, 1 and 0 is 0, and then this is a NOR, and so if we think the only way I can do a NOR is to do an OR, so I have A, B, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, and the OR is 0, 1, 1, 1, so the NOR is 1, 0, 0, 0. Okay, so if I have a 1 and a 0, that means my output here is 0, so this then becomes 0. And if I have a 1 and a 0, then my output is also 0. So I'm not done yet. So I start off with having them, these are now both 0. And so now this 0 comes here, and that 0 goes there, and so the 0 NOR 0, that now becomes 1.
Is the exporting project window in the way of your drawing?
Can you see what I'm doing? You don't see exporting project, do you? No.
I can follow along.
It's because I'm sharing the wrong computer. Okay.
Well, I see what you're working on.
Okay, yeah, it's because I have 2 computers going and a screen and a Zoom and a recording, and yeah. And so now I have a 1 and a 1, and I get a 0, and now nothing is going to change. So now it's settled down. And so now that it's settled down and nothing is going to change, my output of my Q is 0, and my Q bar is 1, which is what I would expect from having R1 and S0. That's what I'm supposed to get. Now, I said it was not interesting to have the clock, well, I still say it's not interesting. Well, now let's see what happens if the clock is 0. So now let's make the clock 0. So if the clock is 0, this becomes 0, and this becomes 0. And so the and of both of these is 0. And so now I have a 0 here and a 0 here, and a 0, a 0 nor 0 is a 1, 0 nor 1 is a 0, and so nothing changed, so it worked. So nothing was supposed to change if the clock was 0, and in fact nothing did change. So now let's change the clock back to 1, and let's change this R to 0 and S to 1. So that would make let me so we're starting with this is 0 and this is 1, and our clock is 1, and now we're setting S equal to 1 and R equal to 0. This is 1, so I have a 1 sitting there and a 0 sitting there. So the and of 1 and 1 is 1. The and of 1 and 0 is 0. The nor of 0 and 1 is 0. The nor of 0 and 1 is also 0. So this is 0, which is going to change that input to 0. And now the nor of 0 and 0 is 1. So this becomes a 1. And the nor of 1 and 1 is 0. And the nor is, so now it's settled down and nothing is going to change. And I get 1 and 0. And then just for fun, we'll try one on the bottom one, and then we'll see if we like that one. Let's do, I want to do a 0 and a 0, but a 0 and a 0 is no change, and that's no fun. So let's do...
But we're comparing to make sure that they're the same, right?
Yeah, to make sure we get the same, that they both work. So if I put a 0 and a 1 here, I want to end up with a 0, 1. But let's say I started with a 1, 0. So if I started with a 1, 0, I have a 1 here and a 0 here. And then a 0 and 1 is 0. 1 and 1 is... Oh, wait, that's a NAND. So the NAND is 1, 1, 1, 0. So a 0 NAND 0 is a 1. And a 1 NAND 1 is a 0. Which is not what I'm supposed to get. Let's see. Oh, because I forgot that at first that it was a NAND. These are NAND gates all along. Okay, so zero NAND 1 is 1. 1 NAND 1 is 0. I have a 0 sitting here and a 1 sitting here. And now you can't see it all. I wonder who just...
So hold on, that's two.
Oh, so now there's like, we're multiplying everywhere. Okay, so now we had, okay, so now I have the NAND of 1 and 0 is 1. And the NAND of 1 and 0 is 1. So now I have a 1 sitting here and a 1 sitting here. The NAND of 1 and 1 is 0. So now I have a 0 sitting here. NAND of 0 and 0 is 1. NAND of 1 and 1 is 0, so there's no more change. So this does get me a 0 and a 1 for my output. So it's hard for me to show the tracing. It's almost something that you kind of have to do on your own and follow through to make sure that you see what's going on with it. So that is the function of the SR latch. So we just traced a few values. Okay, so you wanted to do number 3?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.